They pick up their phone. This may be you. Don't get offended. Pero how many people open their eyes and instead of maybe kissing their partner hello first, they've already grabbed their phone? You grabbed your phone first before you connected with the person beside you. That's why we need a bell.
Those are
No,
two. Those
no
are.
bueno.
There's two bears. Two of them. Why?
Bueno.
Why? Why the first one? What's the first?
Well, first of all, for me, like the phone shouldn't even be in the bedroom if it's like
Oh,
up to me.
I just came up with a third one.
Oh, so there's three. So for me, in my perfect scenario, I
That's
wouldn't
number one.
want
No phone in the bedroom.
no teléfono. And also, mi gente, that's another practice I do. At least once or twice a week, I sleep without any gadget within the space. So,
I was afraid of where this was going since we had just left off in the intimacy part.
okay, I was skipping it. PG.
PG, PG.
You know, so meaning like sometimes you gotta have gadgets around you, or there's Wi-Fi and stuff like that. Sometimes the way it's situated, you can't fully control that. But if you could control one thing, even if you start off once or twice a week, where you give yourself a night without any of those frequencies bombarding you, freaking fantastic. Start that habit, you know. So yeah, that's
Start where you are
number-
in your tech break. So what were my
Number
three
one.
reasons? Okay, you said not having the phone in the room. Number two, okay, when we're talking about if upon waking up, what's the first action you take? If your partner's there and you don't say hi to your partner, maybe your partner's not there physically, like in bed with you, but if they are, hi, honey, good morning. Then maybe you go into your phone. But here's the other thing why there's a two-part here. There's a two-part breaking of connection. You're also, if you run to the phone immediately after waking up, you miss the review of what maybe the nighttime. Maybe did you have a dream? Was there a message?
Big one.
Or maybe you wake up with a feeling. You're still, when you wake up and you open your eyes into this beautiful moment, you're like, what's that resonance? What were you given a message? If you go to the phone, you break that connection. And so earlier today, I was listening to something that I think it was Greg Braden. He was just pretty much saying that, the way we are going as humans, we're gonna reach the singularity point where we do merge with the machine. And it's not hard to see that we are willing participants. And so this is why the Perez sisters, as much as we can, we're going old school. We may have to start winding down this thing.
Listen,
A little storm.
I'm definitely not a willing participant heading towards the
Singularity.
singularity.
You don't want to merge with the machines, but wouldn't it be so great that you can become your own internet?
No, I wouldn't.
You don't want to be your own internet?
Because it's gonna fry my insides out. One, two, then I'm gonna lose full control of myself. And also, nothing technological has soul. So how real is it gonna be? Then that means how real are you going to be? Listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Tell us the
I'm
chits.
gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna hate on all technology porque we all know technology is incredibly a big blessing for us in so many ways. Pero, mi gente, we gotta create and set some limits. And I mean like 911 yesterday. Set some limits within yourself, within your household, especially with those children, with your partners.
And sometimes with your jefe.
Exactly, my
Do
God.
you know how
so
many people,
verdad.
like, this is a thing, and this is maybe
Eso
a
es verdad.
separate episode where we dive deep as to how many people struggle with setting boundaries between themselves and their jefes. Like, look, I rock with a group of humans that are texting at 5 in the morning and sometimes as late as 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. I've grown to
Yep.
accept it, but it is one of my few examples only because of the type of work that we are doing, which is really like, and this
Live.
is another thing,
It's
it's
always
live and
moving.
in living color, and you're needing to be in the know of these things so that we can be communicative, because that's also the signs of the time. So when we're telling you about this stuff about, managing technology is because as content creators, as producers of Cafecito Break and other content that we produce, whether it's for ourselves or for other people, we always have to check ourselves. She checks me when I'm in those edit moments and I'm going straight, hours, and she's like, take a break.
Yeah, and then she does the opposite to me, um, where she's like, well, reminding me that, especially because of the nature of what we do, we also need to be open to being more available in certain ways. Because, yeah, I'm an old soul, and have always fought some of these things. I've always had a lot of resistance. And so I've had to learn how to embrace and see how they can benefit me, us, our individual lives, our businesses in different capacities. But at the same time, also honor, my intuition and maintain the boundaries, so I think that we do a great job at, like, oh, okay, I think you need to stop, and then you do a great job at, like, no, we need to, like, this is also like the reality of our life, and we
Right.
need to, like, meet it too, so it's a harmony, mi
It's a
gente,
harmony, right?
and it's
Because
not.
there are times that you just need that open connection, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you always have to respond. So when I'm getting those 5 o'clock in the morning messages, unless they're specifically to me, for me, dire that I need to respond. But if I could look at it and be like, all right, I already know I need to sort of like get into preparation mode. I'm gonna move around my day, and I'm still gonna keep those simple daily rituals that bring me into the present moment. Like when I'm preparing my coffee in the morning, that's a moment that's usually a quiet space for me. I'm usually thinking about what my dream time was like. Was it uncomfortable? Did I have another dream? What were the messages? And sort of being in that really quiet space. I don't rush to turn on the radio to listen to the news, right? So yeah, this is not a one size fits all.
No, and it's
This is
gonna look
about,
different for everybody.
right, this is about how can you make it work in your life. And this is why I said when I started with the meditation, it was just 1 minute, because I remember trying to sit there and just being silent, and 15 seconds into it, everything was happening. I felt itchy. Like I was catching tantrums. I was thinking, am I
¿Qué
doing this?
pasa?
Is this happening?
It's true.
Am I gonna settle? Is it gonna be?
It's true.
Has a minute passed by? Like, and then you just keep doing it, and you just keep practicing. You cultivate the muscle. But if you just do it 1, 2, 3, how many times does it say that you need to do something before it becomes a habit? Is it like 10 times or something
I
like
think
that?
they
Like,
say like for a month or something like
yeah.
that.
So there's a certain amount of time so that your body starts getting adapted to the rhythm.
You got to build it up. Like that's the key word. Like at the end of the day, it's like a muscle. And if you do not build it up, no va a trabajar. Like sometimes like, we start off a little too ambitious with stuff, right? Like we're going to do a whole hour of meditation. You know, if you can start off doing that, God bless. Pero the reality is that most people cannot handle that. In fact, like, to be honest, at our shop, I personally didn't even like to use the word meditation. I would use the word breathing. Why don't you start once or 2 or 3 minutes a day, like she said, start really, really small and just focus on doing mindful breathing. That's it. Just don't set yourself up for all this drama. Like nice comfortable spot. You don't want to sit, you want to walk for a couple minutes. However you can fit it in, do it. Start with 1 or 2 minutes where you're just no phone, no music, no chatting with anyone, just you and your thoughts, and trying to maintain a clear mind. And you know what? Thoughts are gonna creep in. Don't freak out. Imagine that you're just putting the thoughts to the side for that 1 minute until
You witness them leave.
exactly, you're like just putting them right here so that you can go back to your breath. Keep coming back to your breath. 1 or 2 minutes, and like my sister said, I guarantee you, over time, you won't even realize it. Like over time, you'll go in, you'll wake up one day and realize, oh, I just did that very effortless. Like I just did 5 minutes effort. Oh, I did 5 minutes of mindful breathing. And little by little, you start to not only see how easier it becomes, but you start to very importantly feel the effects
Oh my God,
of what
so
it's
much.
doing, not just for you in the moment, but throughout the day. It has those beautiful, like that little pebble you drop in the water, that trickle effect. It has that trickle effect throughout your day. And when you start to really see that and make those connections, oh, forget it. It's no better feeling.
Don't you wish you were hanging out with us in this secret location, having cafecito? There might be some dancing,
Un poquito.
poquito on the sidewalk. You, I don't even know if you hear the music, but we hear the music. Last week, the music was so loud that we had to like literally almost kill our audio sound because when we put it up on YouTube, YouTube blocked the entire video. You couldn't even hear, you could see us, but you couldn't hear us.
Yeah, they were very mad at that.
Why?
Which was
Because we were in a
disappointing, but-
location that was playing copyrighted music and we got flagged for 6 songs.
And therefore our
Just by
whole thing
innocently
got blocked.
being in the restaurant.
Ay, ay, ay. So,
Everything is tracking you, community members. Even when you're not trying to be tracked on that level, like even when you're innocently doing a little video and the microphone picks up that there's music playing in the ambiance and now you're on the hook for it.
and then you're done. Your
And
whole
then you're
video
done.
just goes.
All of the efforts. Thank God for editing tools.
The magic of the editing tools, huh?
But it fits into the subject because, mi gente, do you really want to be one with the machine? There are many decisions that we make day to day that take us further into this reality as a possibility when we are, not asking for a menu, but just will easily accept the QR code when we pay with our credit card.
And not
when-
use cash.
Right, or now you can go to Whole Foods and pay with your palm.
That's it. That's all they need.
So cool.
Or when you select self-checkout over humans, all of these are day-to-day choices that we're making that's actually speeding us towards that path or slowing it down. And, personally, I feel like it's those little choices, quote unquote, little choices that we make that are actually the powerful ones and collectively create a huge impact. So if collectively most of us are saying, you know what, I'm going to go to the actual register and have someone check me out.
Isn't it more pleasant? Hi, how are you? Did you have a good day? Good
Right,
morning, blah,
you
blah.
have a conversation. You're helping them to secure their job. There's a human-to-human connection. Sure, I get it. Sometimes we're busy and we just want speed, 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 speed. But again, going back to the choices we're making are either helping or not. And if you're concerned about how this digitized reality is coming together almost overnight, I mean, because I don't know about you all, but everything's happened. There's so much happening
It's
so
too much.
quickly. I mean, even my sister, when we were walking towards here, and she was like, "Oh, she was pointing out. She's like, the many ways that we're being, video
Surveilled
recorded,
in this
right?
neighborhood. There's a lot of recording devices just in our neighborhood that you may not pay attention to. There's
Yeah.
there's devices here that are surveilling you that are from the cops. There are surveilling technologies that are from people just doing like sound experiments. I mean, research. The more you know, the more appalling it is. It's scary. I've heard that the surveillance technology is at a level beyond our imagination at this point. I do not want to imagine what that looks like, and this is why
Seriously.
we're going to continue to be squeaky wheels. To let's get together in person, and
Maintain
not
the
necessarily
human-to-human connection.
us getting together. That would be nice. We would like that, but I mean, get together with your folks, get together with your people. It is proven that people who have gatherings, who socialize, who maybe they go bowling once a month with their friends, whatever it is that you do, or with your family, that they're happier, that they feel more integrated. It's grounding. Sometimes the most ridiculous things happen when you're out with your friends or your family, and you just laugh and laugh for no reason
God.
at all. But laughing is so healing. And when was the last time you saw somebody laugh hysterically? I'll wait, because it seems like since 2020, I've seen less people laugh.
I mean, when was the last time you laughed You know, when you one of those laughs, but we're talking about one of those laughs
Where
where your
snots come out.
stomach hurts, where your cheeks hurt. You know, like ask yourself that when was the last time, and if you can say today or yesterday, mira, fantastic.
We
Keep it
salute you.
going.
If you
Pero
say today, we salute you.
pero if you had to think about it, you know, mi gente, you
Oh
know,
my God, I'm getting cold.
we just above all, like one of our most consistent messages have always been in no matter what community we've worked with or supported throughout our whole lives, has always been, mi gente, pause, make sure you're checking in with yourself. You know, you got to work from within out, not the out in. You got to be like, what's going on in here? What's going on in in my home? What's going on in my job? You know, like you got to, like that. It's important, but it's not just checking in. It's also energizing yourself and those relationships and those connections. And you know, like my sister was saying, there is no medicine like when you are with people you love, and whether that's the love of your life, your children, friends, like whoever brings you that beautiful energizing joy, it literally has physiological effects. So isolation, I know some of us may really love our time alone, or maybe
And it's important to
introverts,
have your time
and
alone.
that's okay if you're an introvert and you're not necessarily a social person, pero you still need some people at least once in a while to go out and be in community, because that's the type of medicine that you can um, replicate through any other form.
Yeah, that's your homework. Tech breaks and community fun. Oh my God,
Yes.
horrible. We give horrible fun homework.
Yes, we look forward to hearing what little thing you did for yourself